Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about the Revolt of 1857. The revolt began on 10th May 1857 at Meerut as a Sepoy mutiny. It was initiated by the Sepoys of Bengal Presidency against the British officers. This war independence marked the end of rule British East India Company. The outbreak of war on 29th March 1857 at Barakpur, Sipai Mangal Pandey on 34th Bengal Native Infantry attacked his officers. When the comrades were ordered to restrain him, they refused, but they stopped short joining him open revolt. Now we are going to learn about what are the causes and cause of the revolt. The Great Rebellion of 1857. In 1857, the British rule witnessed the biggest challenge into its existence. Initially, it began as a mutiny of Bengal Presidency sepoys, but later expanded to other parts of India, involving a large number of civilians, especially peasants. The events of 1857 to 58 are significant for the following reasons. This was the first major revolt of armed forces accompanied by the civilian rebellions. The revolt witnessed unprecedented violence perpetuated by both sides. The revolt ended the role of East India Company and the governance of Indian subcontinent was taken over by the British Crown. On 1st November 1858, the British granted amnesty of all rebels not involved in murder, though they did not declare the hostilities to have formally ended until 8th July 1859. Its name is contested, and it's variously described as Sepoy Mutiny, the Indian Mutiny, the Great Rebellion, the Revolt of 1857, Indian Insurrection, and First War of Independence. Causes of the revolt. Annexation policy of the British India in 1840 and 1850. More territories were annexed through two major policies. First one is the doctrine of paramountcy. British claimed themselves as paramount, exercising supreme authority. New territories were annexed on the grounds that the native rulers were inept. The doctrine of lapse. If a native ruler did not have male heir to the throne, the territory was to lapse into British India upon the death of the ruler. Satara, Sambalpur, parts of Punjab, Jhansi, and Nagpur were annexed by the British through doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse were pro-imperialist approach to expand the realm of the British Kingdom in India. It was introduced by Dalhousie. The doctrine was equipped with an idea to annex those states which have no heir, get lapsed the right of ruling, and it will not reverted by adoption. Intensivity to Indian culture sentiments. In 1806, the sepoys of Vellore mutinied against the new dress code, which prohibited Indians from wearing religious marks on the forehead and having whiskers on their chin, while proposing the replace of turbans with a round hat. It was feared that the dress code was a part of their effort to convert the soldiers to Christianity. Similarly, in 1824, the sepoys at Barakpur near Calcutta refused to go to Burma by sea since crossing the sea meant loss their caste. The sepoys were also upset with the discrimination of salaries and promotions. Indian sepoys were paid much less than their European counterparts. They felt humiliated and racially abused by the seniors. Immediate cause of the revolt. The immediate cause was the introduction of new Enfield rifles in the army. The top of the cartridges of this rifle was to be removed by the mouth before loading in their rifle. The cartridges were greased by the fat and pig of cow. The Indian sepoys believed that the British were deliberately attempting to spoil the religious both the Hindus and the Muslims because while the Hindus revered the cow and Muslims hated the pig, the soldiers therefore determined to refuse their service and ultimately revolted. Thus, the primary and the immediate cause of the revolt was the use of greased cottages. The East India Company started to create new policies that turned everything to their favor. Heavy taxation, more control over kingdoms. The doctrine of lapse was a very huge factor that caused revolts throughout the nations. The policy of misgovernance, the policy of war, taxation, and so on hurt a lot of powerful states and thus turned them against the British India. Course of the revolt. Course of the revolt on 10th May 1857, the sepoys of the 3rd Cavalry at Meerut openly revolted by swarming the prisons and released their comrades. They were immediately joined by the men of the 11th and 20th Native Infantries and murdered some English officers and then marched to Delhi. The arrival of Meerut sepoys at Delhi on 11th May and declared Bahadur Shah II was the Emperor of India. Delhi became the center of great revolt and Bahadur Shah its symbol. The revolt spread quickly. They were mutinies at Lucknow, Kanpur, Jhansi and Bareilly, Bihar, Firozabad, and many other parts of North India. Many of them found that it was good opportunity to burn the papers of their landlords. Many others whose titles and pensions were abolished by the British who participated in it in order to take revenge. Bahadur Shah proclaimed Emperor of Hindustan. On May 1857, a band of sepoys from Meerut marched to Red Fort in Delhi. The sepoys were followed by an equally crowd who gathered to ask the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah II to become their leader. After much hesitation, he accepted the offer and was proclaimed as the Emperor of Hindustan. Soon the rebels captured northwestern province of Awadh. As the news followed, Delhi reached Ganges Valley. Cantonment of the After cantonment mutinied till the beginning of June. British rule in North India except Punjab, Bengal had disappeared. Thank you, students.